Good afternoon and welcome to the Lake Fishing Report. Colton Hollauer here, our local expert. He's in the trenches. He's in the trenches. He's out there fishing every day. Actually, we're on a mic, so
Well, I try to fish every day at
yeah,
least.
he's out there fishing every day, and he's going to give us a lake report. Go ahead.
All right, guys. So this week, let's start off with the bases. Let's start off with El Cap. Fished El Cap yesterday. Had some nice fish. Had one that was probably right at 8 pounds. The swim bait bite's been getting better. As these fish are transitioning into the fall, there'd been a lot of breaking fish going on out there. A lot of schools of fish eating real small micro bait. That stuff's kind of starting to peter off in the afternoons. The mornings have been pretty good with it, still pretty consistent. You can catch them on any sort of fast moving bait, jerk bait, small, anything 3 to 5 inch bait orientated has been doing pretty good. Salmon Cine, kind of the same stuff, drop shot, Ned rig, small stuff. Hard to get a bigger bite out there. Anything over 3.5, 4 pounds is pretty much a struggle. But the smaller ones have been biting pretty good. Heard a lot of school fish been happening out there as well. A lot of breakers, busters up on the surface and stuff. Like I said, just hard to get one in that 3 to 4 pound class. Otai's been biting really good. I hear guys catching them on some swim baits and stuff down there, some hard baits, glide baits still. I think, a lot of the breaker stuff still happening down there. You catch a lot of those busters, school fish. But keep into consideration that fall transition is in full swing right now. Those cooler nights are definitely having a lot to do and dictating where the fish are going, how they're setting up, and how they're eating. Sweetwater, haven't heard much on Sweetwater side of things. We got some crappie heads that come in here quite a bit that fish it pretty religiously. I think they're still catching crappie, but haven't heard much on the Sweetwater side of things. Loveland has been kind of hit or miss. Some days it's good, some days it's kind of tougher. You go down there with any drop shot, creature bait, keep it simple and get bites. Wolford, not 100% sure on what's going on at Wolford. Haven't been there in ages. As well as Dixon and Poway, but the trout stock's going to be happening here real soon. So here within the next month, you're going to see trout in all these lakes out here, and the bass will obviously get with them. So Hodges still hand launch only, small boats, right, Bruce?
And the last day is Wednesday.
Last day is Wednesday.
Yeah.
This upcoming Wednesday.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Still float tube, hand launch only, that sort of thing. Sutherland, haven't heard much on Sutherland. It's closed, so yeah. Miramar, haven't heard much on Miramar. I would assume that there's some breaking fish going on out there, some school fish. They always school up in that lake really good, so I would imagine there's some of that going on out there. Murray, kind of on the tougher side of things, some busting fish, school fish. Seems like when the school fish get going out here, it seems like all these lakes kind of do it at the same time. It's kind of weird. SD River, flip fish, braid rod, heavy cover, trying to get your bait in the thickest stuff you can. San Diego River has always produced some nice fish for me. In the 10 years ago, I fished it quite a bit. Haven't fished it at all recently though. Santee Lakes, I hear they're biting pretty good. It's just another one of those places I haven't fished in a couple years, but I'm sure you could go out there with, anything simple, small bait orientated, free rig, Texas rig.
But Santee's getting a huge trout stock.
They're getting a huge trout stock. Yeah, it's going to be the trout opener next Saturday, November 1st.
First and second.
Yep. So
Yep.
get the trout stuff ready. Jennings is actually been doing pretty good. They're still allowing you to fish until midnight, I believe, Fridays, or is either Saturdays and Sundays or Saturdays and Sundays. They're allowing you to fish till midnight, which is pretty cool. They're going to be getting some trout here soon, so that swim bait bite will obviously be picking up there. I actually heard some guys catching some swim bait fish there in the previous weeks. A couple of those being like 8.5, 9 pounds, so some nice ones. Barrett, obviously closed, right?
Closed. Yep.
So Lake Marina is the last one. Haven't heard much on Marina. I assume though that we're looking for another good season up there, so it should be all right. But yeah, that's it for the lakes report this week. Thanks,
Alrighty.
guys.
Oh, and what are you doing?
What's that?
What are you doing next week?
What am I doing next
Tell me what
week?
you're doing next week.
I'm going up to the Sierras to go catch some brown trout is what I'm doing next week. So should be fun. Hopefully catch some nice browns. Hopefully catch one over 10 pounds. Hopefully you guys will all see it.
Yeah.
So
We'll be looking for it.
yeah,
You have to send us a
absolutely.
picture.
I will.
All right, thanks, man.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Juice. Today with the time of year and what is happening at the local lakes, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. And this is something that works well for me. Maybe it'll work well for you. I don't know. We'll see. Let me get it out here. I'm pulling this. I'm taking this right off the rod here. Cut it off. Cut it off and show you guys. This is, I would say, me personally, I have won more money, more tournaments, club or whatever, team tournaments with this than anything else. The infamous A-rig. Okay, so this is not just an A-rig. This is an A-rig that I build, and I've modified it from commercial A-rigs into something that I have a lot more confidence in. First of all, this is a 6-wire A-rig. It's got 3 dummies and 3 hooks on it. 3 hooks are allowed in California and the Colorado River on the California side. Arizona is 2 hooks. Nevada, Arizona is two hooks. So you got to switch it up and use a desert, what we call a desert rig, and along there if you're going to Mojave or Meade. And on the Arizona side of Havasu. These heads here are 1/8 ounce. 1/8 ounce heads with a 1/0 hook. Reason being, this is an 1/8 ounce head with a 2/0 or a 3/0 hook. This center one here. You'll notice that this A-rig it's slimmed down. Like there's not a lot of hardware compared to a lot of the commercial rigs. All the snaps have been changed to split rings. All the swivels have been downsized. All of the heads, like I said, this is a 1/0 hook. I can go through every part of this A-rig and tell you something specific about it. The way these heads are shaped, they don't grab. So the eye comes off the front part of the head. Instead of a 90-degree eye tie, there's a 60-degree eye tie, and that way it doesn't grab grass or rock as it's coming through, or a tree branch. For the most part, I am using on the outside all 2.8s. 2.8s, even on the bottom 2 hooks here are 2.8, Kitech 2.8 fat swing impacts. This middle one here is a 3.3 or a 3.8 or a 4.3 fat swing impact, depending on. But 90% of the time, I am fishing 2.8s all the way around, including the dummy hooks and a bigger one in the middle. And I'm fishing all of these outside the same color. These are all the same color. It doesn't matter if it's bluegill flash, rainbow shad, electric shad, some kind of shad, black shad or whatever, but they're all going to be the same. At least on tournament day, they're all the same. Practice days, I can get away with it, and I just kind of throw whatever on there, and I don't really care too much about it. On the middle, then I switch up the color to something that's still shad-like, but it's just a little different. Sometimes I will paint the tails chartreuse. Sometimes, not very often. Usually this rig here gets me by 90% of the time. Spinners are optional. It depends on the lake. For San Diego, in my opinion, El Capitan, lower Otay, they love the spinners. They're a little dirtier, or they can be a little dirtier, but even in Otay when it's clear, they love the spinners. They love little spinny things. And I'm almost always fishing a spinner in those two lakes. San Vicente, I'll fish a spinner. Most of the time though, I am fishing without spinners. No blades at San Vicente. That's where it changes. It's the same configuration of the six wire configuration, but minus the blades at San Vicente. And it's the same, it can be the same. San Vicente is one of the places where I'll even take it to another step further as far as paring it down, and I'll go with a little smaller swim baits. So, and the heads are a little bit different also. They have smaller hooks on them. I use more of a dirty jigs. Oh, what is that head called? Guppy head. I use guppy heads on them when I'm fishing at San Vicente. And that has to do with a lot of the more clear water. And I have much better action. I get much more bites at San Vicente on a much more pared down A-rig. So this is what I have attached to the end of my line. And I'm just going to go over the gear today. We're not going to go over any techniques or anything, but so like I said, all the same on the outside, all the same ones, 2.8s, Kitech Fat Swing Impact 2.8s, 3.3 or a 3.8 here in a little different color. Same size of heads, 1/8 ounce heads. You can go up to 1/4 ounce heads, 3/16, whatever. But for the most part, I'm keeping all three of those the same. I'm matching the hook size up. Now, rod and reel, I have 20-pound fluorocarbon. Most of the time, I'm fishing 20-pound fluorocarbon. Occasionally, that's the heaviest I fish. I fish it most of the time. Again, probably 80% of the time I'm fishing 80-pound or a 20-pound fluorocarbon, straight fluorocarbon. I don't mess with leaders or straight braid or whatever. I feel like I hook more fish. The fluorocarbon also sinks, so it acts different in the water other than braid. It makes you get more of a flat trajectory coming back on a long cast with the fluorocarbon. But that's beside the point. All I'm talking about here is gear today for the juice. 20-pound fluorocarbon, Sniper for the most part. InvisX is great. Assassin is also great. I used to use it almost all Assassin, but I've switched over to Sniper. Then on the rod, this rod here is the iRod Gen 3 Bama Rig Special. This is iRod's specific rod for Bama rigs. The nice thing about this rod is that it's not made to throw those big chandeliers on, from the back, the East Coast, those hog farmer chandeliers with freaking crazy amount of blades and crazy amount of dummy baits and whatever. We're talking about San Diego A-rigs here. This rod throws this smaller A-rig. These arms are only 4 inches. And it does it well. And then from there, I have hopefully I didn't break it. From there, nope. From there I have a 7.4 to 1, Jesus Christ, 7.4 to 1 Corrado, 200 size because I'm using 20-pound. If I veer from that, I'll go down to and this is a 7'10", rod. It's almost an 8-foot rod. If I veer from that, then I will go to a 7/6 heavy action rod with 17 pound, 18 pound, or 16 pound. And sometimes I'll even drop to a smaller rig and use a crankbait rod. Like a lot of times, like I was saying at San Vicente, I'll use my heavy crankbait 10XD rod and throw those smaller A rigs on 15 pound. But I don't drop anything below 15 pound. Usually 20 pound gets it done. Right now at San Vicente, I'm catching them on A rigs, 20 pound, no problem. Not that it's catching me anything bigger. It's just, Otay, they're biting on A rigs right now. El Cap, they're biting on A rigs right now. So it's just the time of year. It's the water temperatures dropping, and they're really switching over to bait fish. They're up chasing bait fish. They're on surface. They're breakers, and they're doing it in such a fashion that you can get them on an A rig right now, especially early in the morning. It's a very good technique. So don't discount it. Another thing is too, when I put my A rig away, I use these rod socks, and this rod sock fits it exactly right to where it goes down. Oh, excuse me. It goes down over the rod, and then it collapses the A rig down. It collapses it. All the arms are snugged up inside the rod sock, and then to just keep the baits in line, I take a bait wrap and store it that way, just like that, and it goes in the rod locker, and that helps me out quite a bit. But that's your juice for the day. A rigs are a major player right now this time of year, and they will be until March, April, every day. Have one tied on, have it on your deck, throw it around, and you're going to catch a bunch of fish on it. Talk to you later.
So anyways, and then there's a sneaky spot, we were fortunate on getting a couple thinny fish to go on forward facing that
after your first initial go around.
Yeah, and we got some drag.
After the sun came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even though thinny, it's no secret, but
they're all small.
They're smart now, man. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah. They've seen a lot of same stuff now, but when you find the right conditions and you find the right fish, and it was like, okay. And we got our biggest fish probably at 1 o'clock, 1:30 on a thinny. It wasn't, no secret, but it was one of those things where that fish, I missed my cast. You see him on forward face. I missed my cast, and that thing shot over by 20 feet right to it. And it was like,
oh yeah,
but all day earlier, they weren't doing that. They would come up to it, they swirl it, they leave it, they come back, swirl, leave it, and then they just disappear. And that's what I'm seeing more and more right now.
Yeah.
So, and we've got the Bubba scale, and I do a few things, but I always know it weighs a little, or it seems to weigh a little heavy. So we had 10.03 on the Bubba scale on our best 5.
Uh-huh.
But I thought we were going to be low 9s because I was also using the cold tags.
That's why. Okay.
And so I thought we were going to be low.
Yeah.
Or lower. I thought we made around 9
yeah.
and a quarter. So I was happy, 9.74 or 7.5 when it came out. We scratched around. Bowler got a good one on a minnow, but we're using the scope to find fish, but also cast. A lot of guys are doing it just to see where an area is full of fish. It's not that they're all in schools or that they're suspended. It's okay. You see fish in the sticks. You see fish on the rocks, and that's what we did.
You're not like chasing single fish, chasing them down, chasing schools, just with the sonar out.
Not at San V.
200 feet of water.
Not at San V. Not for us. I have in the past, but Otay, yeah, you're doing that. But the way San V, those fish are right now.
Right.
The bait's too small.
Oh, the bait's tiny. That's why that
You
other
can't
bait.
Yeah.
But I
It
mean,
is small.
yeah. But I mean, you get on the, you know, I think obviously most of us down here in Southern California, we talk about Jake and Jackson, right? And a lot of these guys that are very proficient, forward facing what they do. But you see how much they're moving and how many casts they make. And a lot of times I think the problem for myself, Josh and I were talking about it, maybe some other guys, is you just spend too much time on fish. It's like, if they don't go, it's
all of the everybody over the age of 35
right.
spends too much time on fish.
Yeah.
I mean, Cody said the same thing last week.
Yeah.
And Spencer Sheffield says the same thing. They Scott Hellison, 1, 2, 3 casts.
Yep.
4 casts if they think they didn't put it in exactly right, that they didn't give that fish a chance.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't react, on to the next one. And we still haven't grasped that in our mind of finding the biting fish and just leaving that one. It's done. That one's done.
Right.
Go find some more. Go find some different ones.
And I think the problem is, right, every once in a while you get that fish that goes after the third cast or something.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, and that was a good one. So I want to stay with this. But there's biting fish. There's always biting fish. You just need to get your bait in front of the right ones. And I think that's what, Logan will be able to share about his event and what was going on in the bite windows and what's taking place. So, it was a great, I go this, like I said, with the Sportsman or National Bass West. This is our only second time I've fished with them. The numbers were low. It was a little disappointing, I think, for everybody, but for the quote unquote first tournament of 2026, essentially.
Yeah. I don't know why they had low numbers. Usually the first tournament turns out to be pretty good as far as attendance goes.
Right.
But I think it just has to do with several contributing factors. One of them being low water and just small fish.
Right.
And it's in the back of everybody's head that fishing's not great, that it's tough. So, I didn't show up. Jake and Jackson didn't show up. There's like a handful of us that didn't go because George Pernicano, he's like, we all practiced and it was like, I ain't going back out there for a pound and a half fish. It's tough. This is rugged.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And that, I talked to a couple guys, Randy Lewis, and I mean, he's fishing DVL today with National Bass West, but that's where he's like, you want to catch big fish, go to DVL. So I don't know what their numbers are going to be up there, but
I don't know either. I saw a picture of their takeoff and it looked about the same.
Did it?
So, but I could have been wrong. Maybe they didn't get everybody in the picture or something.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So Logan, tell us, expand on how you go from fish to fish. You just do you do that? Do you leave the ones that are not biting? How many casts do you put on a sonar fish?
So I mean, with the fish in Hartwell specifically, and now I do this with every fish, but it's basically I do 1 or 2 casts on it. I'll do 3 occasionally and stuff, just depending on how hot it is. And honestly, the biggest factor is how far away that fish is from scope. If it's under the boat and it's my first time seeing it, I'll drop down on it. But if it's under the boat after I've casted on it 2 or 3 times, I'm not gonna reposition so I could recast and chase it and stuff. So it just depends. But honestly, the biggest factor is if I know the fish saw the bait. Because there were several times I've spotted bass, and even with largemouth, they'll just be moving so fast and going all over the screen. You'll make a cast at it, and you think the fish sees the bait, but it doesn't. So you just I make the cast until I know the fish saw the bait. Once I saw that reaction and how it worked, then it's when I determine if I'm going to chase and make multiple casts. But typically, and especially with a pressured fish, it's kind of a one and done deal. It's if you don't get the right presentation, it's not going to bite. And that's what I was seeing with a lot of the fish out here, just out east. And so the fish are very pressured, and even on our home lakes and stuff, the fish are very pressured, and you have to just be very quick with it. But with the weird thing with us, so the morning, there was no scoping morning bite at Hartwell. It was obsolete, just not there. Like you might get one or two like small fish, but it just wasn't happening. And but the second 1 o'clock hit, they would eat a demikiwik. It was like literally night and day, like completely different. And it like we fished that same spot first thing in the morning. We're casting out all these fish. We're getting short bites after short bite after short bite. We go back there at 1 o'clock because we know it's a good spot. Like we saw some locals pull up there, like that do very good in tournaments there. Like we know the right quality is there. We pull up there at 1 o'clock and we catch 2 fish back to back. Then I'm re-rigging up and my buddy just sees a dot in a bait ball. He casts at it. It's a 380 largemouth. It's just like, and that was like that was our kicker fish of a tournament. But at 1 o'clock, we caught 4, like we caught our majority of our weight. We got 4 of the fish that were in our bag from 1 to 3:30. It was just, it was completely different. I mean, there was just a bite window. So like you also had to recognize that. Like, you might be in the right spot, but it might not be the right time. So
did you have to just wait it out offshore, or did you go throw a frog or punch grass or something while you were waiting for that bite window? I mean, did you know about that bite window, or did you just wait it out?
no, we figured out the bite window day one. I mean, it wasn't confirmed, but like at 1 o'clock we caught like 3 fish back to back, and this was the first day of practice when we found a spot, and we caught 3 2.5 spots back to back to back, and we're just like, all right, like, and it was just like clear. And then so I'm like, okay, what time is it? I look, it's 1:30. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna keep this in the back of my head throughout the rest of our practice days. But other practice days, from 1, sometimes 12, like they would always start biting. We would get bigger fish, better quality. It just always started happening like around 1, 12 o'clock during practice. So we knew it was happening, but all we did was scope all week. So we just we ran our spots and just hoping that we would like stumble across a good one, or like we just caught a bonus fish. Like I caught a 285 at like 10:30 on that spot. And that was just like, I consider that a bonus fish, like just because it bit before the bite window and we were lucky on that. But all our other weight came, like we knew all our weight was going to come from 1 to 3, but it was just super frustrating because we're fishing, we get out, we're boat 4 out of 234 boats. We wanted to be the last boat number, so because we wanted more time in that bite window.
Right.
Yeah, like the weights changed. Like the first 100 boats, all the weights, like there's maybe 1 or 2 16-pound babs. The second it gets to 4 o'clock when people are coming in and stuff, but weights all of a sudden jump up to like 15, 16 pounds, 14 pounds consistently, and a lot more weights coming in. That bite window was just across the lake, and all the bigger fish were biting then. It was just super evident. So we should have had more weight. We just didn't have enough time to do it in the bite window.
So what's your strategy when you're scoping and you have 2 people on the boat? Do you both cast at that same fish? Do you allow one person to cast at that fish? What's that second person doing?
The way we did it is we're both on the deck. We're looking at it. If it's a school of fish and that's 5 or more, we're both casting and stuff.
Okay.
And but they're also moving fast. So sometimes he would cast in a spot, then I would cast at a different direction on where I'm thinking they're moving. And sometimes he would hit it, sometimes I would hit it. And that was only in the schools though. But then when it's singles and doubles, only one person casts. Like it's just whoever makes that first cast, and you don't do a double presentation. So you just it's a partner. I'm not fighting over fish with him. Like it's just only one person casts at those 1 or 2 fish, and you just let them have it. And then if they don't do the right presentation, they didn't hit it, then you cast and you're ready and you fire it back in. Because again, you have to think they're moving super fast. So it is a big advantage having someone to recast right after you, especially if you missed it the first time. So, I mean, but that's like with one, when it's ones or doubles. With a school, you can make multiple casts and get in it because it's just like a bait ball going over their head, in my opinion, and stuff. Like you could get multiple
Right.
fish to bite then.
Right. How do you decide who runs the sonar?
So like in this tournament, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the trust in your partner.
Yeah.
But like, so it was my partner's boat and stuff, so I just let him run it. But I also could care less because I had full trust in him that he would like keep like the sonar in line with my bait when I'm on fish, and then vice versa and stuff.
Okay.
Like there would be occasions when I'd hop in, like if he's tying up or he has to like step off or something, I'll hop in, do it, and then he'll come back up. I'll still be scoping for a little bit, and I'll just let him take back over and stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like, but ultimately we would have been fine if both of us are doing it, but it's his boat, so I'm letting him. And I also like, it doesn't matter because like I have full trust in him that he's able to do it.
Yeah.
And like he like play both best of both worlds in terms of just like keeping that bait, like that beam on my bait and his bait as well and stuff when we're targeting fish and stuff.
In this tournament, where did you find your fish? As in, did you have to cast 100 feet to them, or did you have? And how deep were they? And in that fact, did they bite more of a reaction type? Did you use a heavier jig head, or was it like use the light jig head and let them swim up to it, kind of thing? What was your presentation?
I was using a 3/16 jig
How
head.
big?
Huh?
How big was the bait? I mean, your minnow.
It was 4 inches. I was throwing a 4-inch Sakamata shad, and Eli was throwing a 4-inch winged fluke just because he didn't have any Sakamata shads. He was doing that. But then later on in the day, once we had our limit and we had like a good weight and stuff, I switched over to that 5-inch to get a bigger bite. And that's when I caught 2 like big coals that were gonna like that helped us get our place, because it's a spotted bass fishery, so the weights are super tight. So ounces matter. Like they're just super important. And I switched over to a 5-inch because I'm like, screw it. Like he was getting more bites on the winged fluke, which I think it would just be that winged fluke, that 4-inch is bulkier compared to the 4-inch Sakamata shad, which is just a skinnier, smaller profile.
Yeah.
And he was getting more bites, so I switched over to the 5-inch Sakamata shad. And at this time, these fish had moved into bait balls. So they were literally in the middle of the bait balls, sitting in them, and you're scoping around, seeing just bright balls, dots in the bait balls, and you're casting in. So I just think that 5-inch started to allow them to see and differentiate the bait from the real bait in there and stuff. But I kind of switched it to the conditions, but when they were super pressured and not eating, we were both throwing the 4-inch. The second they started eating, I was able to switch over to that 5-inch. They started chewing that too. And in practice, I started catching I was catching them on a 6-inch as well.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all with the same lead or tungsten head?
I throw a range roller. I've been throwing a range roller, which is lead and stuff.
Yeah.
But the tungsten head is a big advantage. I mean, it helps. It's a harder return, so it's easier to read typically, and especially in the smaller head sizes and stuff. When you get quarter 3/16, you can get away with lead, like with a range roller. But the range roller is really the only lead Demiki rig head I would recommend in terms of lead. Otherwise, I'd stick with tungsten because there's a clear difference, and you catch those fish because you see how they're following your bait and all that. Like you need to see your bait going through them.
Yeah.
Hey, Logan.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Sorry, Bruce, I didn't want to take over on this.
No, it's okay.
I'm curious when these fish are in the bait balls like that. I mean, because I've seen it a little bit out here, but do those fish, how and or what do you guys need to do? Do you care if they're in the middle of those, or are they underneath the schools of bait?
There was times.
Why is that fish going to pull off the bait and go for your bait?
Just because it's feeding. When it's in that bait ball, it's feeding. But like when it is in that bait ball, it's really hard to chase those fish because you are casting a Demiki rig out there and it goes into the bait ball, you can't see it. So like,
so you just have to, you guys are feeling the bite then at that point?
Yeah, and I mean, I never set the hook unless I feel the bite. Like, but then Senko, I mean, I just see the line run off. Like, that's when I will. But like with the Mickey rig, I always wait until I feel pressure or the bite. Like, I never set too early because like there was too many times like it was really annoying. But like you would literally see the fish become one with the bait, and like it was just like a pure big blob. And there was no fish there. Like, you could set the hook, but the fish doesn't have it. So you have to wait for that tick or that bite. But in the bait balls, you have to hit those fish perfect. So like with bait balls, we saw groups of fish and bait balls, and we would stay on that group for like 10, 11 casts just because we knew we didn't make the right presentation yet. We didn't see them react. We didn't they just didn't see the bait. They were in such a thick bait ball. They never saw our bait. So we just kept on casting until we got them to see our bait. And that's really the biggest thing. Like, you cast until you get that reaction from a fish or if a fish sees the bait. Yeah. And I mean, and sometimes you could also look at the dot and tell if it's a bass or not. Like, we cast out plenty of dots where we know it saw the bait. Like, we drug it across its head and there was no reaction and we just move on. We're just like, okay, that's not a bass, or maybe it is a bass, but like, just like, it doesn't make sense to waste our time on it.
Yeah. What pound test are you using? What kind of leaders are you using?
I switched it up. My partner was fishing 10-pound the whole time. I was fishing 7-pound and 10-pound.
Okay.
But like, you'll see with the pros a lot more now and stuff. Like, they're fishing that heavier line test. Like, what I found with like line test is just a pound test. It has, yes, there's a little bit of visibility, but a lot of it has to do with how that bait's able to work in the water.
It's the presentation.
The presentation. I mean, the lighter the line, the more flow that bait has. But sometimes when you're throwing those bigger baits, like if you're throwing a 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch Demiki rig, you want that heavier line, that stiffer line, so that bait stays more level and you're actually able to make it to roll and work and stuff. So
are you using different? Are you using different knots also?
I've been mixing it up. I've been trying both the loop knot and then also just Palomar. And I mean, I haven't seen. Sometimes there's a difference, but my buddy only throws a Palomar, and he never there was a difference in him catching more fish compared to me catching more fish when I was throwing the loop knot. So, I mean, I'm sure there can be a difference sometimes, and I know a lot of guys do it. But now I'm just like, I don't know fully what I see it on and stuff. I think the loop knot is more applicable when the fish are on like ones and singles and stuff, and you're just trying to get that like bait to roll perfectly and stuff. Yeah. But when they're in bait and they're chasing hard, it doesn't matter what, like, that bait's still gonna roll. It doesn't really matter and stuff. Like, it's gonna eat and stuff. That little detail isn't gonna make a huge difference, but sometimes it does.
Yeah. What is that attached to? And how long is your leader? And I guess, okay, go ahead.
I've been experimenting with a shorter leader recently.
2-3 feet? 1 foot?
Not 1 foot yet. But like, it's it's 10-pound chartreuse sprayed with probably a 5 foot, like the 5 foot of the longest all the way down. Like, I'll retie it when it gets to probably 6 inches, 8 inches. That's where I'm like, okay. But I mean,
it's pretty short.
Yeah, exactly. So then I'm running into like problems and stuff. So, but yeah, I've seen a lot of pros now. Like, if you just pay attention to their setups and stuff, you're seeing a lot of them run that shorter leader. It's like a 2 to 3 foot leader. It's not long, but with that, it's 2 to 3 foot with a heavy pound test. It's not a
Right.
It's not like 7-pound tests. You aren't doing that on 7-pound tests. You're doing that with 14,
That's a
16
good
pound
point.
tests. Like that heavy pound test, because you
Yeah.
still get that light braid to get that like roll and stuff, but
Mm.
you have that thicker test to fight those bigger fish, or even just get the bait to roll better and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are
So,
you finding, Bruce, are
go.
you and or Logan, if you have the luxury, are you going to have 2 setups of the same thing so that when you break off or something happens, so you're not wasting time retying? Because tying the leader obviously to the braid, it's not like a quick knot tie.
I am.
I would
When-
definitely have. I would call it a luxury
Yeah.
Right.
because
I know it's a luxury, but
you know, having 2 of the same outfits is just that's what it would be for me anyway. That's how
Right.
I'd feel. But I would if I was so in
Focus.
tune with like what like Logan was with what he was doing with what you're doing, absolutely. I mean,
Right.
you got to have redundancy there. It's going to make you better.
Do you do
your
that?
day a lot easier.
Yeah.
Do you do that,
No,
Bruce?
I
Did you
have-
do that at Mojave, Bruce? Did you have, like, you knew your bite, you knew what you're doing, or were you comfortable knowing, oh, if I need to retie, I'm just going to retie?
Oh no, I had rods ready to go with leaders tied on.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily with exactly what was laying on the deck, but I had another rod
Ready
Yeah.
to go. Yeah.
ready to go. Yeah. With so that brings us to this, which is a good question, is and how are you attaching your leaders? Are you just using a improved Alberto knot or crazy Alberto or RP or whatever you want to call it, or are you going full in with FG knot?
FG all the way.
Are you even in the boat? Even in the boat, like
Yeah.
tying them in the wind.
That's all he'll throw, man. He won't. He gets so
Good
mad.
for you.
Yeah. I hate the Alberto. I've lost
It's
too many
weak.
fish, had too many leaders come off. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me. I've
Yeah.
never had FG not fail when I tie it right. And I've gotten good enough at it now to where I'm always tying it right. So I mean, it takes an extra 2 minutes, 2 maybe 3 minutes if it's like super windy for me to tie on the boat. But it means I have 100% security and not losing a potential potential fish that will either make or break my tournament. We fished super clean at Hartwell. We didn't lose a single fish. We didn't have one fish that we 100% hooked up and lost. We never broke off. Everything was clean.
How do you trim your FG knots? I mean, do you trim them? Do you burn the ends?
I don't in saltwater. I will, but not in freshwater. I just don't have a lighter on me all the time, and that's a little bit more detailed. But I tie a Rosito's twist on top of it, so it's like I do a half hitch. I do one half hitch to cinch it down and just hold it in place, and then I do a Rosito's twist, which is basically you take the tag in and stuff, and this is a braid and stuff, and then you have the main line, and you loop it. You make a loop, and then you loop it 5 times around the main line, and then you hold that, and then you untwist that loop, and then you just pull it tight, and then that's just an extra security. And then I tie like a little with a braid, because the braid will slip a lot more than the fluoro, so I'll tie a overhand knot just to like re-cinch down that Rosito's and stuff, and just keep it extra secure.
And then you just trim that pretty close.
Yeah. The fluoro, I'll leave a little bit more of a tag in. Like not a lot and stuff, but I definitely will leave a little bit more.
So I'll have to show you something.
Yeah.
And it's called it's a cauterizing tool is what it is.
Okay.
And but I got it at Michael's. It's a thread burner. It's a thread cutter. It cuts spectra and whatever.
Yeah.
And you can and it's just a hot little element that heats up, red hot. And it heats up like that. As soon as you push the button, it heats up. And I use those to I can burn the mono, burn it down right to it with a little ball. And then
Yeah,
I can
that's
do
killer.
also, I use that risotto's twist or with a finishing knot or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I also can burn the Spectra down really quick.
Yeah, that's
No flame
perfect.
in the wind. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I
I have
need
to
to
show
get
that
one of
to you.
those.
I,
Yeah, no.
I don't tell very many people. And nobody listens
Yeah,
to this
that
anyway, so
Whatever, man. You
whatever.
got now.
Like,
You just told 800 people, Bruce.
huh?
I said you just told 800 people. Now they're going to make a run from
Yeah,
Buffalo.
yeah, 800 people. No, but
That'll
that
be a
little
stocking
tool
stuffer
is,
for Logan.
that thing's key. Yeah, I'll have to send you one. You get them at
Yeah.
Michael's, you know?
No, I'll
Because
definitely.
cauterizing tools would be the way to go.
It is 100%.
A medical, you know what they are.
Yeah.
They'll burn through your
A flame is
fingernail if you
way
need
too
to.
hard to do it, and that's why I don't do it on the boat, especially with wind.
Oh,
So
no,
taking that, it's just too difficult.
you end up, yeah. The flame goes the wrong way and it's done. Like,
Yeah.
not, you
especially
gotta
with light
retie.
braid. I mean, so yeah, that's actually super. I'm definitely gonna probably invest in one of those just because that would make life a lot easier and it would make that floral connection so much more secure and like just even better.
Oh yeah, having that little ball on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't slide through as easy and stuff. And because like as much as you want to pull on it and do it all perfect and stuff, like there's always going to be a little bit of slippage in that knot to where it's able to like pull through the twist of the Rosito's twist or a half inch. And then once you do that, the FG unravels. And then it's like, which I also like about the FG is if you do tie it wrong, you make a couple casts with it, you'll look up and like it's like halfway unraveled and stuff, but it's still, it's still there. And you're like, okay, like it gives you a chance to retie it. Where the other knots I found would just break on me. Like no telling if I did it wrong or not. Like
right. So you're using? Did you say you're using 10-pound braid?
10 pound. I had a 10 pound to 16 pound. On one of my rods, I was fishing 5 pound, and all the rest of the guys called me crazy. But like it's just one of my trout reels and stuff, and I just wanted to I like that extra casting distance. It's also 1,000 size reel. Like I need as much braid as possible, so I'm gonna fish 5 pound. I caught that 13 pound striper in practice on that 5 pound to 7 pound braid on a 4-inch stock model shad. Yeah. Nice. I mean, I was burning that thing in to make a new cast over a point just by accident, and it just beelines and slams it and stuff and peels drag and stuff. I mean, 5 pound braid is a lot stronger than people attested to and stuff, and even 7 pound. Like I have so much trust in that, like that caliber. 5 pound test like fluoro is super weak, and like you have to legitimately play with your drag. 7 pound fluoro is like sunline. You don't have to worry about it at all.
Yeah.
I've never, ever messed with it. And that's the other thing with the Mickey Ridge. Like, I button my drag down almost all the way with all my spinning reels because I'd never want that drag slipping when I set that hook.
Yeah, I've dropped to 8 pound on most of my spinning reels now. I was using 10 pound for a long time, and it was just like, man, I don't feel like I'm getting the distance that I need to. So most of my reels now have 8 pound, and then the specialty reels have 6 pound. And I've used 5 pound in the past, but 6 pound right now is pretty small for me. So I've only got 2 reels with 6 pound on them, but the others have 8. Yeah.
That like
that's what I'm using.
That lighter test, like 5 to 10, is ideal with spinning rods. It's all about casting distance. I mean, if you're tying FG, you aren't worrying about the not failing on you. So
have you gone to the 6'10", 6'6" foot rods and those shorter rods?
I've gone down to 7'1", but I mean, I have some 7'4s I still throw and stuff, and even at 7'6" I still use. That shorter rod, you have a lot more control, but you could definitely get away with that longer rod and stuff. And now with technology and stuff, you're able to, you could still get that casting distance of 80 feet, 100 feet with a 6'10" rod because it's a super light, flimsy rod, but it has a lightning tip, and you're able to still cast a 3/8 to a 1/2 ounce super far without you worrying about breaking the rod, and that goes all the way down to a 1/8 or a 3/16. So you're still able to cast it far because it's flimsy, but it's still
Yeah.
super strong at the same time.
Yeah. 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 We're seeing that at the, fishing that deeper smallmouth, fishing a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce drop shot, and those rods being able to handle it. The same kind of thing as a jigging minnow rod. 2,500 or a 3,000 reel, or I heard some guys are using 4,000s.
Yeah, I've never
the kids
using
Some guys using 4,000. You said?
Are some of the kids using 4,000s?
I haven't seen anyone doing it.
No, I thought it was who was it? Hayden
Cox?
No, not Hayden back east. He just won.
Marva?
He just won on Wheeler. Well, not just one, but it was like 2 months ago he won on Wheeler. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought he said he had a 4. I thought he said he had was a 4,000 reel, but maybe I'm wrong. All right.
I don't know. I don't see the necessity in that unless you're getting a further cast distance with it. Like it's a bigger spool. I don't know. I don't see the necessity.
Winding it in faster.
Yeah.
It takes in more line faster.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that for sure. And like you're getting more casts in a day. Like that can make sense.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Because on
more casts in a day. That's which kind of blows me away. Well, okay, so are you using any other baits? Not specific to this tournament, because obviously you just told us what you were using, but
yeah.
So if you're in that situation, are you Nico rigging dice or anything other than any other kind of like a creature bait that falls slow to suspend fish?
I haven't. Now I do it back home a lot, but all the guys I've fished with here and stuff just haven't they don't believe in it first off. So when I want to do it on the boat, and this has to do with your partner and stuff, like how important your partner is and the trust you have in between them. Like if you don't have a partner that's trusting you, when you try something new that they think is super weird, is I know all of us thought the dice was super weird and just doesn't work. You try that and they don't give you the time of day to make the right the patience.
Oh,
to do
right.
That.
Yeah.
So Murray, because I had to fish solo because my partner, he already qualified with someone else. So he has to fish with the first person he qualified with. So he's going to be fishing with that person. And I had to fish solo. At Murray, I'll have a lot more freedom and messing around with that stuff. But there were several guys who were doing pulling stuff that we do back home in San Diego and stuff, and home for everyone there and stuff. There was one team who did really well. They were fishing ditches and they were throwing a Nico rig in this ditch and they were dragging it for 8 to 10 minutes. Stupid slow. It's just painstakingly slow. You're dragging a Nico rig through a ditch for 8 to 10 minutes.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's so guys were doing that and they caught a big bag of spots and stuff. They just soaked a worm basically. And but the only way you can do that is if you know there's the right qualities in that ditch.
Yeah.
Because in these big lakes, and those guys were locals too.
Yeah.
But in these big lakes, if I don't know the lake, I can't afford to go that slow unless I know 100% that there's big fish in that ditch. And I could sit there all day. Because if you're doing that, that's an all day endeavor. That's not a short-term thing. But there's also guys who I know went down the bank with a dice and like you said, Nico rigging, so put a little weight in it and they're casting down the bank and just casting at docks and stuff and they're eating it. I mean, it's the same. Yeah. So it's definitely happening in these bigger tournaments.
I mean, you're starting to see it a little bit on the elites, especially with the
Yeah.
Japanese guys. But then now it's bleeding over, and we just had a BAM Super 60 that was won at Lake Almanor with just doing that. He was putting a nail in a dice with a spring and casting it to forward facing fish. It was shallow though. They're inside of 10 feet.
That's the
And
big thing. It's always shallow, unless
yeah,
it's a smallmouth fishery where like
and it was a smallmouth fishery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A smallmouth fishery, you could get away deeper and stuff because typically their forage isn't like it's not always bait fish. Sometimes it's gobies or fish, like just crustaceans floating through the river or whatever. But when it comes to a like any other fishery where there's bait present, you want that 10 to foot, like that 0 to 10 foot is the range you're scoping with that dice typically.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in terms of doing that.
So one of the things in South Dakota was they were talking about using them as a mayfly or a mayfly imitators, and they were talking about that at St. Clair also, because of the Hexagena hatch.
Yeah.
And then out here, it was guys were doing it for dragonflies as a dragonfly nymph imitator up against the tulies.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody about that. But because that's a very small time frame. It's a very small window, but it does work. It does it as that imitator.
Well, if we had any water that was touching tulies out here, it'd be a thing, but we don't have to worry about that.
Right. Yes.
Hey, you guys brought up or Logan brought up about the ditches and going painfully slow. And I was thinking this on Sand V. I'm just curious what your thoughts are, Bruce. There's obviously big fish there. They're in there. And a lot of times you'll see them come up the bottom or whatever, but is it a matter where you just soak a bait and you just drag for minutes and you might be able to drum up a better bite because the better, smarter fish or bigger fish are just kind of waiting something out? What are your thoughts on that?
I think, oh man, there's a lot of I lean more towards the biggest fish is going to bite on the first cast, kind of thing. And you see them down there, and if they don't bite, they ain't gonna bite.
Okay.
Unless you know that unless there's a time frame of the day that they could bite.
Right.
And you have to be there at the right time at the right day. In my opinion, on what happened yesterday, and I am totally guessing here as far as what John Strelick was doing, was just he had it down. It was very refined in his approach, and he had the right worm at the right time of day at the right place.
Dude, those guys were
flying
around the lake.
Huh?
They were flying around the lake. They came up on us 5 times. Like they'd spend 5-10 minutes in a spot and they were gone, and they were just moving along the shoreline.
Yeah.
The entire day.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Along the bank?
Yep.
Well, I'm wrong then.
But every time we saw them, that's what they did.
You're talking about Kevin and Wade?
No.
Oh, okay.
Every time
I need to have. I really want to have John or
Rusty
or both of them on here. But like I've said in the past, and I know who they are, and I can go say hi to them and whatever. But you got to have a rapport with them to sit here for an hour and talk to them face to face, and you know what I mean. Like it's kind of.
I think you've earned that. I think people know.
Well, I've asked them in the past.
Okay.
Maybe I'll ask them again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean. Yeah. I don't know what they were doing.
Well, we could talk about that later.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to like I said, I got a tournament coming up this weekend there. So anyway,
back to the San V thing real quick too. Like for us, that was
yeah.
We broke off on Quagga like at least 6 fish. It was the most I've ever lost, and it wasn't like.
Oh, it's so bad right now.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh yeah, we break them off. Like when we were on that 2-day, Jim and I,
Yeah.
we had points where we broke off a half a dozen fish.
Wow. Yeah.
Like it. Yeah, oh yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. It
Like,
was.
have you been out there, Logan? Did you go fishing?
No,
No.
Oh my God.
no, I haven't been out there
Yeah,
since
no
that low
Every
water.
every bush, every branch is encrusted
Yeah.
with it's just solid freaking quaggas. There's
Oh
no
my
clean
God.
bushes right now.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. Oh, it makes
It's
it
good for
really.
shell crackers, but not.
Yeah, it makes it really tough to you can't if you cast over that bush and get bit on the other side, it's just
Yeah.
you just whiff like
Well,
break it off.
Hartwell is like pretty similar to Sam V in terms of like the silver sides. The silver sides act exactly like herring. Like the silver sides are like act like a pelagic bait fish in terms of how they move, how they travel and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like the fish at Sam V, they group up just like spots. They group up in bushes. You'll see a bush and stuff. It's like bright red on live scope, and so you're like, what the heck? You cast something over it, and you all of a sudden you see 80 fish shoot out of it. Like, I mean, it's the same thing at Hartwell with the cane piles and even with flooded forests. Like, it's like there was one tree I legitimately casted over, and there was probably 80 to 100 fish that came flying out of the tree and stuff just to look at the bait. Like,
Did you say 80?
80? 80. Yeah. It was out in the middle of a channel, a giant tree and stuff, and I just cast out and stuff, bring it over. They were all babies. There's no size and stuff, but like you just see a massive like group of fish. Like at Sam V, it's more like 5 to 15 at the most. Like
There's some big schools right now.
Yeah.
There's 20. We saw some bigger coming out of those bushes.
Oh yeah, there's 50 fish.
Yeah.
50 fish deals. Totally.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Sam V is the bait's just so small right now, and that's why I feel like you have to drag because of that, or you have to get on them when they're busting, because then that's when they're most vulnerable and aren't picky, but they're so smart on those silver sides. Like they'll only eat a 2-inch bait.
Yeah.
It seems like most of the time.
Mm-hmm. So are you not allowed to use A-rigs in MLF?
You can in MLF. It's Bass that has the restrictions.
Bass is the only one that put that restriction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay. So why? So were they not? They didn't buy an A-rig. They just bit a jig minnow.
I didn't throw an A-rig. I mean, it may have been smart to throw one. I didn't throw one. I saw one local going down the bank with it, but there's some of these lakes where the A-rig will be very like any of the TVA lakes. That A-rig is a great bait, but sometimes a minnow is more effective than an A-rig. Just plain and simple. I mean, I am interested. I haven't had the opportunity to try it out, but you're seeing people scoping with A-rigs, but like with scoping baits, and they're hover strolling at A-rig, basically. So, and you're seeing a lot of Japanese people do it and stuff, but like that's really interesting to me. It's just like it's a big A-rig with scoping baits, and they're hover strolling it. Like
I've seen the ones that are made for that.
Yeah.
And I haven't had one in my hand, but I've seen them. I've watched the videos a couple times.
Same. Yeah. So
and then Berkeley just came out with that three minnow rig.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we'll see how it goes.
Berkeley's Berkeley. It's
right. They have a lot of good baits out, but they got a lot of baits that aren't that good too.
Yeah. So it's definitely it's interesting. I don't know about that, and I honestly don't think Bass would allow that. Like I've called them about throwing a 4-blade spinnerbait before, and they're like, "Nope, you can't do it because it's 4 arms." And I'm like, "It's blades. It's with 1 hook."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I have some of those.
Yeah.
With the four separate arms on a spinnerbait. It's a spinnerbait, but it's got 4 arms on it.
Yeah, it's 4 arms. And I called Bassmaster about it one time, and I'm like, "Hey, like, can I throw this?" And they're like,
Did I
nope,
show
they
that
have
to you?
four arms. Huh? Yeah.
Did I show that to you?
Yeah.
Well, that thing, it works good.
It does. Especially around the
Yeah.
fat spawn. I mean,
Yeah.
I
They're
don't
hard
have,
to get.
Well, they're on Tackle Warehouse.
They sold out. And now
Oh.
I'm trying to get them from the guy. He lives in Kentucky who's
Oh,
making
really?
them.
Huh.
Yeah. I'll have to send you the link.
Yeah.
You can drive over there and pick them up, though.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
It depends on how far away where he is in the country, in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but wow, that's really interesting because it's only one hook.
Yeah, I know. I don't agree with it. I don't think a multi-blade bait in terms of like with multi-arms. It's like a spinner bait. You see spinner baits with one arm and four blades. Like, what's the difference? I mean,
Yeah.
I think I understand multi-hooks, but multi-blades, like, I don't see that much of a difference. And even the A-rig now.
Greg Hackney was using, he was using a spinner bait with four blades on it, but they were all on the same arm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I called them and asked them about it. Like, it could be different on with other trails and stuff. Because I honestly think it's just up to the director's discretion on it. Like,
yeah.
So, at least in the college bass, like, they didn't allow it and stuff. But I think in other directors may allow it and stuff because I think it literally comes down to the opinion of the director.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like at Havasu, it's California on one side, Arizona on the other, and Arizona's only two hooks. California's three hooks. Both the tournament directors I've talked to said the same thing. They're like, no, you can throw a 3-hook A-rig on the California side, and 2-hook on the Arizona. You can do that, but if you get a ticket. And it's up to the guy who's writing the ticket's discretion where you're at on the lake. Like, they could come over to California side and just say you're Arizona. If you get a ticket, you're disqualified. That's cut and dry. It's just so you're really living on the edge. You're living in that gray area.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just easier just to go with 2-hook rig all the time. You don't even have to worry about it. But
yeah. No,
club tournaments, I have a 3 and a 2 on the deck. Western Outdoor News tournaments, I just use a 2-hook.
Yeah.
You're not going to disqualify in your club tournament?
I would. No, if I got a ticket. Oh no, it's cut and dry. If you get a ticket, you get a ticket for anything in the club tournament. You're disqualified. Yeah. If you're not wearing your life jacket, if they pull you over and you don't have a throw ring or whatever, you get a ticket, you're done. Yeah. There's no gray area in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. It's a good club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's going on with the what's happening with the juniors, Sean?
Yeah.
Or the open tournaments?
SoCal Jr Bass Anglers. Matt Lucero and I are talking. I've been talking with a lot of the directors, really just trying to gauge, okay, what is our flexibility? Because technically, when you file for these permits, you're only allowed a certain amount of changes before they start not allowing you to make more changes. And and last year or this year. But last season, he allowed me to make more changes than were normal because we were losing lakes and things were changing. But, in National Bass West down here is just Otay and San V. And in my mind, I want to put all these other lakes on. But for the kids, we could do our open series on Murray, but I can't put the kids, I don't think I could put 20 boats on Murray unless I really had to. So.
Right. Yeah. No, the open tournament would be great on Murray.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And we might do that. One more for those. So, but back to the club, we will, this week coming up, I will be sending out the information to make sure I've got my numbers lined up for the returning anglers. And then I will open it up for the next 2 weeks to anybody that's interested in being in the club.
Okay.
And then depending on, I think on the top of my head, I know we have 7 spots available. We might have a few more.
Yeah.
And so if I get 7 kids that want in, then they're in. But if I've got 20 kids that want in, then we're gonna have to do a lottery.
Yeah.
And, going back to the lake situation, it is a little different. I've talked to Andy about ECBT series, and if it's only one lake, what are they going to do? Are they going to do it or not? And he's kind of up in the air on, and I know multiple people have to make that decision. But for me, the kids club is more than just the tournaments, right? So we're setting a stage and trying to really provide opportunity for them to connect with the older boaters, the angler, and just get better at and proficient. So if we have to, I wouldn't want to, but if we had to have our 5, or 6 tournament series all at Sand V next year for the kids, I'm going to do it. It's not like we're not going to have the series,
Right.
So it's nice to have variety. It makes you a better angler, but we are doing a lot more than just fishing in that regard. We want to, as far as qualifying for nationals.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said that.
The connecting piece. Yeah. As long as I can get them on water, and I can't foresee Sand V, us losing Sand V, but Otay is still hanging strong. I don't know what have you heard anything about the water and
So I don't know if I told you that, but I got a word in and some video sent to me that there's water coming into Otay as we speak right now.
Enough substantially that it's going to raise it?
It's going to help the situation. That's all I know.
Is that down by the dam?
I don't know how long it's coming in for. I don't know how long it's going to, what amount they're going to put in. I just know that there's water coming into the lake at this point.
Down in the right side corner by the dam?
Well, there's 2. There's 2 places that it could be coming in at. And one of them is down there. Yeah. And that's some residual water coming from some pipes that was left over, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of complicated. Right. And then Barrett.
I see water when I we live in Hamul. So,
that's right.
Yeah. So I see it coming down, but when I drive over that by the glider port, you see water on either side, but it's not a lot. So I don't know.
Did you look at it in the last 48 hours?
I drove it yesterday.
And there wasn't that much coming in? Yeah. All right. Well,
I hope. I mean, whatever.
We got our fingers crossed, and hopefully we're not going to lose the launch ramp at Otay anytime soon. Right now, it's open.
Well, the evaporation will start being much less, too, because the sun.
Yeah, it's not as hot. The days are short. Days are shorter.
So that should help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll help a little bit.
But yeah, so all in all, the kids, I'm excited. We've just got the kids. They won top 6 a month ago. The club series tournament. And
yeah, they did.
With the national champion. I mean,
they won,
right?
I don't know if we talked about that. I can't.
I don't think we did. No. Oh no, you brought it up. I mean, you said the kids won top 6, but
yeah,
it didn't get
won the top 6. So if anybody doesn't know, the top 6 tournament in San Diego is the top 6 members from each club in San Diego, which there's 12 now, 11. Yeah. And they all go to a tournament and fish against each other. Two people per boat. It's a team tournament, 3 boats per club. So there's like 33 boats on Otay. And the kids, the juniors, this is their first year. They just joined the Bass Council this year. And so they were invited to do this top 6 tournament, and they won. They beat all the bass clubs in San Diego. All the old guys, all the old timers got beat by high schoolers.
Yeah. And they did good. I mean, by a lot. I mean, it's nothing against, but I mean,
it was substantial.
I just
Logan's just
year, what the kids have done, just as our club,
it's incredible.
it's
Absolutely.
very, you know, they set the bar high, but I'm just excited about the opportunity, and the kids are, you know, they're really taking advantage of the opportunities that are being presented before them. That's what's really neat. And you know, there's just a lot going on, and they're just good anglers. They're good kids, and I'm excited for their future and the opportunities. You know, I know guys can get frustrated, but they are the future, as cliche as that might sound. And we've got to continue to nurture them and encourage them, because they are the ones that are going to continue to carry the banner, the torch, so to speak, for Southern California, and get our names out, you know, across the country. Because you know, bass is forgotten about California. You know, like it's crazy.
There's no money. It's far. It's
right.
all not.
And I
MLF too. I mean, we didn't have the participation in MLF, and we lost the Toyota Series, which was really a shame. At this point, I look back on that and I just shake my head like, man, that's really bad that we lost MLF.
Right. And we lose high school opportunities for the kids when that happens. You know, that's why we've been able to have the opens here for us, and in Northern California they do opens to get qualifiers out there. But I can't get a bass qualifier out here.
Right.
Because there's a national championship for bass.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do the TBF, the Bass Federation, which is in conjunction with MLF. That's the national championship they do. But you know, speaking of opportunity, though, there's some really cool, like Logan Parks down in Alabama. He's putting on it's called the Insane tournament.
Yeah.
And it's going to be mid-November. We have 2 kids going out to that. All right.
So Hagen Cox is going to go.
Yeah, Hagen and Brenner are going.
And Brenner.
Yeah.
So Brenner, so they made that. Brenner said yes, or Jason said yes. Yeah. So we're sending 2 kids to the Insane tournament. Or we're
I mean, they're going. Whatever. Yeah, they're going, which pairs up a college angler with a high school angler, and then which is really it's a really cool stuff. You got to check out the website when you.
It like it is, like the title says, Insane. It's an insane tournament,
and
the way it's run.
Great, you know, Bass puts on a fishing combine, which helped Logan get noticed for, you know, and connected with the college that he ended up going to, getting a bass fishing scholarship. But they also have that at this, where there's, I think, 30 schools there, and you can walk around, you shake hands with coaches, you're connecting the schools, the anglers, and then, so I mean, the Insane tournament that Logan Parks puts on is like the combine on steroids, because you get to fish a tournament, and you can win money, you can win all sorts of stuff. So he's putting on a phenomenal.
With a boat.
What's that?
Oh no, does he give away a boat?
He did last year. He gave away his boat last year. I'm not sure if he's doing that every year, because that's crazy, right? He gave away, like, that was amazing.
Now Logan Parks, if nobody knows, he's Tucker Smith's partner, and they won the $1 million US Open on Table Rock Lake for the kids.
Yeah, and then Tucker just won the $500,000 2 weeks ago with no forward facing.
Yeah,
at that what was that? I can't think of the name of that organization. That was down in Alabama.
That was a totally different deal.
Yeah,
that was
a
whole nother up and coming. That was their first tournament. $500,000 first place. Yeah. You had to be invited to that.
That paid out, like, second got 175 or 100 and quarter. I mean, they paid out well on that thing. That thing was over $1 million, I think, for overall that they gave away.
Yeah.
But you had to qualify for that. But see, speaking of that, Bruce, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity even for out here. You have to pay attention to what's going on. But if you just registered for that tournament series, you could qualify in a bunch of different ways to be in that tournament. And a lot of times we just don't know what's out there. if you go on Fishing Chaos, I think it's the Fishing Chaos app. I just noticed this the other day. The amount of online tournaments that are going on that you could be registered for and qualify and win things.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, you need to check that out. Like it's pretty amazing what you can, and because you could do everything online, you know, like it's like a kayak essentially tournament, but I mean you're measuring your fish and you're documenting your stuff.
Right.
But you can qualify for regions and all sorts of things by just being entered into things. So
yeah,
I think what happens is we forget about it out here, about all the stuff that's going around the country, but the opportunities to, you know, to get some extra stuff or just catching a big bass just by fishing, you know, fun fishing is pretty cool.
Yeah. So Logan, are you gonna fish that insane tournament, Logan Park's tournament? No.
No. If I had a boat out here, I would be.
Okay. How far is that? That's on Lanier, isn't it?
No. I'm pretty sure it's on Logan Martin in Alabama.
Oh, that's right. No, you're right. Logan Martin.
Yeah. I know. I think there's 1 or 2 guys from the team going down and doing it.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's just a 1-day deal, right?
Yeah.
Is it 1 day or is it 2?
It's a weird. I think it's a 1 day, but like it's a weird format. You got got a draft where college guys are drafting high school anglers. I mean, like
they get ranked by their like pre-fishing.
Yes.
Like whatever they have.
Yes.
I like it. I think it's super cool. I think it's just random, but it's fun.
And it's all on your phone. It's all on an app, right?
Yeah.
It's
like
cool
a period.
and funny.
So it's all a numbers game. It's not big.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Big Fish does get a prize, but it's a numbers game. So you in that lake, apparently there's thousands of spots. So it's not a matter of you're just catching.
There's a stupid amount of spots. I mean, like if it's a numbers game, it's gonna take over 100 fish, like
a day for that day.
Well, I think, I mean, if you watch their website, there's some really cool things. But speaking to all of that, I mean, it's just, and that's what I'm trying to bring to, you know, to our club, to SoCal Jr Bass Anglers, just the awareness that, hey, there's opportunity. It's a little harder. Yeah, we're on the West Coast, but man, if you want to do some things, there's some real cool things that are taking place.
Yeah.
So
very good. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. Logan, welcome to the San Diego Bass Fishing Podcast. Thank you for coming all the way, showing up from Kentucky. Logan's back in Kentucky right now.
Yeah.
And Sean, thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure having you on here.
You too, Bruce. Hey, Bruce, I want to thank you, Bruce, for what you're doing. I know you made jokes about who's watching and who's not, but it's a time thing. And I think we see that, you know, with a number of successful endeavors is you don't see the first year, second year, fifth year. It's that time and that commitment. And I appreciate everything you're doing for the community here and the awareness that you're bringing and what you do for the kids. I mean, you know, I know Ava graduated out, but you've been great. So just thank you so much for what you do and you know, helping Logan. And I mean, you'll take kids out all the time. You've done a ton of things over the years and continue to do that. So thank you.
All right. Well, you're welcome. And it's my pleasure. And I'm looking forward to a fun future with kids.
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be a big year.
It is.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yep.
Bye.